So the loot for the fugitive fox, oh, good lord. It is a barrel surprise. So we're trying to loot a barrel that the Moon Witch was carrying around, and oh, there's legs in it, and a dagger comes out. So ambush, skirmish means it's going to run off and raise the danger level if we don't kill it. It goes to the highest perception, which will put it on the Void Witch. Okay, so discard these. The Lowlands monster deck is now empty. The ambush check is against perception. If we fail, we are stunned and can't use our power die. Fugitive Fops ambush check is not stunned. The Void Witch's ambush check, perception of 8, not stunned. And our Fishy Confectioner, perception of 7, is not stunned. Yeah, I thought you were so tough, huh? I guess I don't need these stun counters. Let's do... It has a point of armor, so let's go ahead and fire the weighted pistol. If a monster is dazed, can it use its Q? Oh, no. There's another status called hexed. If a monster is hexed, its special abilities are zeroed out. All right, using the weighted pistol and the tranquilizer darts, which will just make it less likely to hit, it does have an attack of 5. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So an agility, a perception of 8 is a miss. The Void Witch. I want to kill it because I don't want it to escape and raise the danger level. So the Void Witch is going to assault with an agility of 8. Her defense is 8. The power die goes to the attack. 5 points of damage incoming. So she succeeds and prevents the 5 points of damage. Her hit does 4 points of damage, which doesn't ignore any armor. So 1 point of armor makes it 3 points of damage. All right, it's down to you, Fishy Confectioner. Come on, buddy. You can do it. He is in assault mode, which means he will ignore a point of armor. So all he has to do is 1 point of damage. Basically, the challenge here is making his strength check, which he succeeds at and kills the barrel surprise. And finally gets some experience. 1 point of experience and 1 point of gold. And a loot roll of 1. And this is now discarded into the loot discard. All right, so that was combat. That was our loot check. Wait, this would have fired off, right? I keep forgetting. If we draw this for a loot check, do we then replace it? Kind of a jerk move on the game's part if we don't. No, it looks like we don't. That was our draw. If we had made a loot check on the monster we drew, then we would have gotten a loot. Yeah, the only time you redraw is if it's a town-only or loot-only situation. Well, that's one less monster in the loot deck. All right, so finally, now going from the combat, that was the danger phase, going to the encounter. Let's see what the deal is with this mysterious fountain. An ancient fountain stands here, a sacred place lost in time, haunted by old spirits. We can drink, we can make a tribute, or we can ignore it. So I think we basically can flip a gold piece in it. If we drink, 1 to 2, the water's tainted, you're poisoned. 3 to 4, you lose fatigued. No one's fatigued. 5, you're rejuvenated. You become blessed and lose fatigue. Blessed would be a +1 morale until we rest, which we're going to do because we still have to explore here. So we would lose it as soon as we get it. 6, warmth flows through your body. Recover all wounds and become blessed and lose fatigue. Sure would be nice to recover all these wounds, but that's probably not going to happen. We'd have to roll a 6. If we ignore the fountain, you avoid the fountain. Who can tell what cursed ghosts lurk within its waters? Or pay tribute. Here's what I think we're going to do. You pay a gold piece and roll a d6. On a 1, you're demoralized because the spirits have scorned your pathetic offering. On a 2 to 4, the spirits hear your tribute. Oh, if the spirits hear your tribute, they offer no sign. This place is cold and dead. But if we roll a 5 or 6, certain that the spirits have accepted your offering, you leave the fountain with renewed confidence. You become blessed, which is fine, we're just going to lose it, but more importantly, you gain a luck. So a gold piece each is definitely worth trying for additional luck. What with all these 6s out on the board? All right, so there's the Fugitive Fop's gold piece. Actually, we'll do them one at a time. So the Fugitive Fop rolls a d6. The 3 means nothing happens. The spirits, if they hurt us, they don't respond. The Void Witch is a gold piece. Oh, look, a point of luck. And the Fishy Confectioner, and remember, if she ever loses gold when her gold is at 10 or lower, the money hungry turns her demoralized. Nope, nothing. So I'm happy to do that. 3 pieces of gold to get 1 luck. That's a fine exchange for me. All right, put this up. That was that turn again. We're going to boldly rest and hopefully roll an 8 or less. I mean, what are the odds that we don't? We're checking to see whether the fugitive fop passes a morale check from sleeping outdoors. She barely does. There's nothing, so the Void Witch. So here we go. We need a morale check to heal up some of this damage. Oh, this is gone. Come on, Fishy Confectioner. Yes, nice. 12 to a 6. I mean, still like to heal more, but we are now going to make a perception check. Come on, fugitive fop. Yes, we finally have explored this path from Witch Hill to Gutfish Ford. Now we're going to pick herbs. On a perception check, we can pick up that witchweed and then give it to the Fishy Confectioner for healing, we hope. Well, we failed. No witchweed to be found. We could spend experience. Let's see, does the Void Witch get anything for 8? She does. The Void Witch is going to flip Decay to a mastery level, which will cost all 8 experience. And now, as a combat action, she can use a magic test against someone. If she passes, the target is corroded and takes damage equal to the lowest die on the magic check. Awesome. Inflict damage to the highest die if it's a construct. So Decay, really good against robots and golems and stuff. We are now about to go into Gutfish Ford. Once we explore that, which should be relatively easy, it's a town, it's a safe spot, we can then, I think, go back to Pigskin Port. That's where we basically turn in the quest, I believe. That's how we finish this guild caravan quest. Here's an interesting thing. If I opt to connect more settlements, because look how close we are to connecting the bandit camp. Just one explore here would then connect this. For each settlement that I connect, I get a D6 gold. So would I rather have 3d6 gold or 2d6 gold? I could also connect the Goblin Fort. It's kind of tempting to connect all of them. So the reason we could use all that gold, I mean, I've been moaning about being up against my gold limit here, oh, poor me, is, okay, well, real quick, so we've rested, we have explored the area, we didn't pick herbs, let's check our danger check. If we had plague, it would have been a 2, we would have failed. Because there's no plague, it's a 4, we succeed. Now, here's where the Mean Streets expansion comes into play. This doesn't raise the danger level anywhere. It does, however, cause an outbreak of plague in the lowlands. When a plague outbreak occurs, the first thing you do is add a plague counter everywhere that there is a plague counter. And that would include any adventurers who have plague counters on their cards. Then we're going to add an additional plague based on the D6 roll. So here we go. Plague breaks out in the lowlands at 5. The graveyard, which is fine. Nobody's going to go down there. Graveyard, way down here. So if you want to go mucking around with icky corpses, you could catch the plague. For our next action, we are moving into Gutfish Ford. So we're moving in boldly. The danger level rises in, all right, so first of all, we succeeded very well at our danger check. We are way above, I mean, we're in a town, so nothing would have caused an attack. You have an uneasy feeling, like something horrible is about to happen. What's horrible that's about to happen is the deck is going to reshuffle back, the discard is going to reshuffle back into the deck. We do have an encounter icon. If we'd failed, we'd draw from the encounter deck, but in a settlement, we're going to draw from the settlement encounters. But first, let's shuffle these in. The cool thing about this card, it's not raising the danger level anywhere. It's kind of the same with the plague outbreaks. Yeah, you've got plague. Yeah, all these places that have had their danger raised already are now back in play. But guess what? You got a free turn. No danger broke out anywhere. All right, put that there, completely reshuffled. There is in Gutfish Ford a settlement encounter, so we draw the first one. If it doesn't apply, we draw a second one. If it doesn't apply, there's no encounter. Night terror, any region. Well, Gutfish Ford qualifies. In the dead of the night, your rest is disturbed by a demonic visitation that brings indescribable nightmares. So everybody makes a morale test. You add 2 if we've got a bone totem, a hexen mark, meditation, spirit guide, warding. A ghost child apparently doesn't affect your nightmares. If you fail, you're demoralized, fatigued, and weakened. But we're going to rest, so that won't matter so much. Oh, here we go. Then, one adventurer in the party may attempt to banish the demon. If no one attempts that, shuffle the card back in. Ah, I see. Well, the top 9 cards, I mean, it's not like we do. Well, let's see. So to banish it, you make a magic check, roll an additional die, and use any 2 if you have any of the cards listed in italics, right? Okay. If you pass the magic check, you successfully banish the demon. Discard this, I guess. And if you pass and your highest die is 4 or more, gain a luck. I see. And increase the town level. Of course we want to banish this nightmare, this night terror. If you fail, you become suppressed and you shuffle this card back in the top 6 cards of the deck. All right, Dungeon Degenerates, pretty clever. So we've got night terrors. The Void Witch using her magic of 9, hoping to increase the town level and gain a luck. Come on. Now, all right, if I re-roll by spending a luck, I burn a luck, but I gain a luck to raise the town level, see? And if I re-roll this, anything but another 6 would mean she makes her magic check of 9. So here we go, spending a point of luck to re-roll this die. We now passed, so we gain a luck, and we raise the town level in Gutfish Ford to 2. See how that worked out? All right. You remember when I said never spend luck? Okay, sometimes spend luck. I mean, look, if Gutfish Ford didn't know who we are before, they do now. And after we rest, by golly, then you'll see. So that was us walking into Gutfish Ford, banishing night terrors, raising the town level. Now that we're here, we're going to rest boldly, and some cool things are going to happen. First of all, morale checks. The fugitive fop, she doesn't care if she sleeps. You know, we're not outdoors anymore. We're furthermore in a town. She even made her morale check. The Void Witch, morale check, whatever. She succeeded. The Fishy Confectioner, here we go. Morale check to get rid of these last 6 points of damage would be nice. Nope, he failed, but he heals up half of his morale, which is 3. That is our recovery check, the first part of any rest action. Now we're going to explore town. We will use the Void Witch's perception of 8. Okay, so this means we now have an explored marker in Gutfish Ford, which now means we have connected what we need to connect right here, right there, to finish our caravan. Which is great. If we wanted to go on and connect here, which, oh, we are so close, or up here, which we're also close, we could get a ton of gold. Why do we want a ton of gold? Okay, check this out. So I explored, should we do fine dining first? No. I'm going to now do an action called invest. Investing means spending 20 gold and raising the town level by 1. So, check this out. The fugitive fop is spending all of her money to invest in Gutfish Ford and raise it to a town level of 3. If we had done this in the lowlands, by the way, when you invest in lowlands towns, which are places like Brutalberg, the Holy Order, the Hunt Lodge, there's one more, right? No, just those. Then your bounty level goes down. All right. So we're going to draw 3 loot cards, plus 1 because the town is explored. 2, 3, 4. A smoke bomb, which adventurers and monsters in space can't attack this round. So basically just get out of combat. A pumpkin hat. What does that do? It's the starting gear for one of the weird pumpkin characters. Use a magic test when you test against fear. No point to get that, so that's kind of lame. It is food, too. Why would you... well, of course, it's pumpkins, food. Ooh, official papers. I kind of want these. So there are a lot of events in the lowlands that reference the official papers. And also, at the start of a fight against law, you may attempt a morale check. If you pass, and your die is greater than or equal to the bounty level, discard each law monster. If you fail, you discard the card and increase the bounty level. So part of this depends, too. The campaign splits off in multiple directions, as you've seen before. Depending on what choices you make in the campaign, that will determine areas that you are working in. We might never go back to the lowlands. One of the options that you have, it's called something like Get Revenge, is going to the lowlands and trying to basically trash all their cities because you're mad that they arrested you. Now, from a role-playing perspective, we're kind of playing a lawful-ish group of folks, so I don't think we're going to end up doing that, which makes me think we're not going to spend a lot of time in the lowlands, which then makes me think, don't worry so much about official papers. Well, let's see what our last loot is. A spiked gauntlet. Doesn't do any good, no. It's basically it's a starting item for one of the characters. So these, no, I guess we'll buy the smoke bomb. So if later on I get into a fight against law monsters and I'm all like, oh, this is really too difficult, this is too hard, oh no, poor me. Well, just remind me, you know, you could have bought those official papers. All right, the smoke bomb only costs 3. Let's spend 17 to 14. While we're above 10, we'll spend money from the fishy confectioner. Okay, the Void Witch will take that. Let's see, the smoke bomb is adventurers and monsters in your space can't attack this round, and adventurers may immediately escape the fight, ignoring the pursue ability that monsters have, and then you discard the card. All right, so basically a get out of combat free card. Let's do some dining. We are now going to draw from the food deck. Give it a quick shuffle. 4 cards. Remember, each adventurer can carry 1 of them. All right, here we are in the markets and stalls and restaurants and pubs and inns and taverns and whatnot of Gutfish Ford. We could buy trail rations, spider cider, Scrag's milk, or chicken feet. The trail rations is just 1. It lets someone discard a fatigued or weakened condition. Okay, spider cider, that looks interesting. Let's see what this does. Spider cider. I can't read the black on red text very well. All right, I gotta read here. Discard a constitution check. If you pass, you become exalted, which means your magic ability goes up, which would be good for the Void Witch if she really, really, really wanted to say, oh, I don't know, cast a mystic shield. You can also use it during rest to become exalted. All right, we want this, the spider cider. What does that cost? 2. Chicken feed. That's what chicken feed looks like, in case you're wondering. You might have thought to yourself, hey, what does chicken feed look like in the Dungeon Degenerates universe? Goblins and vermin can't attack until your next turn. All right, I want to buy that. And then the Scrag's milk. We've seen buttermilk. We've seen gutter milk. We haven't seen Scrag's milk. What does Scrag's milk do? At any time during a map action, okay, so make a constitution check to become invigorated, which is a bonus to strength. For instance, the fishy confectioner's strength will go to 7 to 8. Yeah, we could buy that too. All right, so we've already got this Scrog Eye aspect, which I might as well have used that. So don't save food. Look how valuable this is. So we can carry 2 pieces of food. I think we'll take the chicken feed and the spider cider. These get shuffled back into the food deck. We'll only ever have 3 out at a time. Wait, oh, no, that's not food. A cleansing elixir, not food. That's medicine. Remember, before we bought food and gave it to that beggar, but he explored the path to the bandit camp for us. The spider cider will, of course, be carried by the Void Witch, and that gives the chicken feed. The fugitive fop running around with chicken feed in her pocket. And what is it? Vermins and goblin, right? Yeah, vermins and goblins. If you throw chicken feed on the ground, they scatter to eat it instead of fighting. All right, now let's go back to that town meeting. Everybody from Gutfish Ford, they were sitting in that town meeting about local improvements. We went next door real quick to buy a smoke bomb. We bought some spider cider. Now we come moseying back in and we're like, okay, we want to give you guys 20 gold to raise your town level to 4. I mean, that's what you kind of do with gold. So, unfortunately, it's going to bum out the fishy confectioner. You know what? He's just going to have to deal with it, So, the Void Witch's 15 gold goes to 0. The fishy confectioner spends 5 from 14 to 9, which will trigger this right here. When you lose gold pieces for any reason, if you have less than 10, you become demoralized. Which means next time she has to make a morale check, she'll be rolling against a 5 instead of a 6. We now draw a card. Danger card. The Graveyard was a 4, now a 5. There is no icon, so we do not have a settlement encounter. All right, so here is where I have to decide, do I want to head back to Pigskin Port and turn in the quest? It'll give everyone a luck, and I think 2d6 gold. So the advantage of running up to the Goblin Fortress, it's a 6, right? And remember, when there's a 6 out there, when the Goblin Fortress card flips up, and it's in the deck, the Hand of Doom comes out unless we can spend 3 luck. So it might behoove us to run up there, have the encounter, which we would probably have, win the fight, which we would hopefully win, and then knock it down to a 5. And in the process, we could explore it. That would be another fight. I don't know if it's too greedy of me to want to run around and try to pacify the Badlands at this point. I mean, if you look, too, there are a bunch of 6s in the Badlands. There's 3 of them. So the Badlands seem like a bit of a lost cause. And then thinking further ahead to what we might want to do in the campaign, one of the options is to mount a war against the goblins, which I think basically involves capturing the Goblin Fortress. I've actually never done that one before. So if that comes up, if that's the path we want to take, the other one is uniting the Highlands. All right, I might regret this because this should be a pretty straightforward mission. Just set up a trade caravan. I'm actually going to use it to get a foothold in the Badlands by going up to the Goblin Fortress and trying to attach it to the caravan. We don't need to do this. It's just another d6 gold each, though. So it's 3 to 18 gold if I do this. It is presumably also lowering the path to the Badlands. Any combats will lower this right here. Where's the overall? Oh, Wastelands to 3. So here we go. We're venturing forth. We don't need to do this. This might be a bit much, but we're going to go ahead and venture into the Badlands. We are going to move cautiously to the path to the Goblin Fortress. We now draw. All right, so we failed this. We're going to have an encounter. Fishmonger Camp goes to a 5. Not much of a camp. And we are only going to encounter 2 monsters. There will not be an encounter card. So 2 monsters, but monsters in the Badlands. These tend to be, I haven't looked at that closely enough. I think the Badlands monsters, I was going to say I think they're tougher, but I'm not sure that that's the case. We'll find out by looking at 2 of them. Give us a bit of a sense. All right. Our first Badlands encounters. It is a Goblin Guard. And you know what? Goblins can't be that tough. Look at that guy. Goblins are freaky looking here. He's got a sword. That is the Hand of Doom. Of course, the goblins are into the Hand of Doom. If we had been indoors, which we're not, he would have summoned someone. We're outdoors on a path. His attack is in a 3. I can't read this black on red. Yeah, his attack is 3. Oh, well, here's the deal. He's got 2 points of armor, which, guess what? We have a weighted pistol and a decay spell. He attacks the highest strength, which is the Fishy Confectioner. Also on the path to the Goblin Fortress, a Chicken Witch. This is actually one of my favorite cards. The Chicken Witch is a... Why is she a Chicken Witch? It's a tie between this and the Cock Goblin. No, like a rooster, I swear. All right, so the chicken witch, she is, of course, a witch. Rally, which means she's going to bring in someone else, and summon, which means if she's alive at the end of the round. Oh, boy. She's all kinds of trouble. So at the end of the round, she's going to bring someone else. At the end of the round, if she's still alive, we'll do what we can to prevent that. She's going to run off, raise the danger level, which will drop again by winning the battle, and summon another monster. So the chicken witch arrives, and her rally is a Nugbear. 8 hit points. He's pretty tough, kind of like a troll. Look at that strength of 5. Attacks the highest strength, which is our fishy confectioner, and his fury ability means once we put wounds on him, his attack's going to go from a 5 to a 6. All right, this seems like a formidable enough attack battle. Let's begin with the fugitive. Oh, yeah, no, rally. Yep, all the arrival abilities done. The fugitive fop. We want to get that chicken witch out of here. We don't want her to run off and make us waste the danger level reduction that we would get from winning the battle. So the weighted pistol ignores a point of armor. So might as well unload the tranquilizer darts. We don't want to risk losing them. The attack against a perception of 8 with the power die attacking the chicken witch. And we have Deadeye shot. I need to remember that. All right, the attack succeeds. 3 points of damage. Shoot. No swapping around or no shenanigans will matter here with the Deadeye shot, but that's just 3 points of damage. Hopefully the Void Witch can finish her off. Which means also not pumping magic into the Mystic Shield. Yeah, because we're resting anyway to explore, I'm okay with the Void Witch taking a little bit of damage. So she will assault. She still gets a defense roll. It's just the power die goes to the attack. She's defending with an agility of 8, attacking with an agility of 8. Okay, the defense failed. Oh, no, she's going to take all the damage because this is an assault. We do kill the chicken witch, but we take 3 points of damage, which I'm okay with. We'll just heal that up super quick. As a matter of fact, even if we fail our morale roll, when we rest, we'll heal 3 points of damage. Oh, she destroyed it. So let me think of the order real quick. So you resolve defense first, which inflicts the 3 points of damage. Then you resolve attack, which kills it. Because the sacrificial dagger was involved, she gains a point of health. And now, of course, the fishy confectioner will guard. Strength of 7 for the attack, agility of 7 for the defense. The defense failed and only intercepts 1 point of damage. The attack, I didn't say who I was attacking. Obviously, I'm attacking the Goblin Guard because the Bugbear, as soon as he starts taking damage, is going to hit harder. We don't want to kick that in if we can avoid it. So the attack on the Goblin Guard does 2 points of damage. But more importantly, let's deal with this first. We are taking 9. We intercepted 1, which means 8 points of damage. So from 3 to 11. Poor fishy confectioner, such a punching bag. The attack of 4 does 2 points of damage, which are both intercepted. Oh, no. 4 points does 2 points of damage because 2 of it is intercepted by armor. All right, the next round of combat. We begin with the fugitive fop. If we all pile onto the Nugbear, I think we can kill it before the end of the round. Right? Oh, also, if we take any damage to our fishy confectioner, he's going to die, which we don't want to happen. All right, so let's try to make sure the Nugbear doesn't get an attack in. The fugitive fop will assault. Let's again try the throwing knives. So the lowest attack die or the power die. We can use Deadeye shot to manipulate it, but then we can't use our second attack. Yikes. Okay, so that missed, but what we do is if we flip these to where this is an attack die and this is a power die, we use the lowest of these or the power die, our power die being a 6, does 6 damage to the Nugbear. And that will leave the Void Witch to finish it off. Now, it was our quick action to use the Deadeye shot, so we can't use the quick action of the throwing knives follow-up. The Void Witch is assaulting with the sacrificial dagger, using her agility of 8. She succeeded, only did 2 points of damage, but that's all we needed to do. She destroyed it, and the sacrificial dagger heals her up a point. And now the fishy confectioner will, of course, guard. 7s all around. The guard succeeded and intercepted any damage. The attack failed abysmally. The next round, we begin with the fugitive fops. Throwing knives. They succeeded. We used the lower of these dice or the power die. I'm going to swap these two around and therefore hit. This is the power die. This is still a success. Hit it for 5, which kills the goblin guard. There we go. And the wastelands are now safer. The wastelands themselves are safe, but look at all those terrible locations within the wastelands. 3 points of experience. So from 0 to 3, and how much money were they carrying? 2 points of gold. And a loot roll of 3, and then 1 experience, 1 gold, and a loot roll of 1. Here's the loot roll of 1, here's the loot roll of 3. All right, no loot for us. So that was us walking up, no encounter, walking up into the Badlands. We now are going to rest. The recovery check for the fugitive fop, otherwise she's demoralized for having to sleep outdoors, fails. The recovery check for the Void Witch won't really matter. She succeeds anyway, would have healed up 8. Okay, here's where this guy is holding us back. Recovery check of 5. Well, that failed. So heals up 3 points from 11 to 8. This guy's killing me, but no longer demoralized. When we pick herbs in the Badlands, goon grass, what does goon grass do? Here we go, goon grass. Pretty sure that's marijuana, just like witchweed. Become blessed and focused. Blessed means you get a +1 morale. Focused means you get a +1 perception. All right, well, we can't pick herbs unless we've explored the area. So there was our recovery. We're going to explore. Should I just go ahead and eat this? No, actually, no. I want to save this so I'm not in the Goblin Fortress any longer than I have to be. Right? We're going to eat the Scrog Eye Aspic. Up to 2 adventurers in your party become focused. And discard this card. And remember, when you're using the Fine Dining mod and you're told to discard a food card, you shuffle it back into the food deck. All right, so that will make the Void Witch and the Fugitive Fop focused, which will make it easier to explore this territory, and the Fugitive Fop's weighted pistol fires off of perception, so that will mean she's rolling a 9 to attack instead of an 8. Focused is a perception bonus. We have a focused Void Witch and a focused Fugitive Fop who's demoralized because she had to sleep outside. So we are now rolling against a perception of 9. Why did I think it was going to be a 10? Oh, yeah, okay, her magic. When she's exalted, her magic is a 10. All right, here we go. We succeeded in exploring. We now put an explored token on the path to the Goblin Fortress. Now we can pick herbs, a perception of 9. We do get some goon grass. So this would make us blessed and focused. I'm tempted to give this to the fishy confectioner so that when he makes his next morale check, he'll be rolling against a 7 instead of a 6. And I'm going to do that because we're going to be traveling. I am going to do that. So he has to make a Constitution check, or otherwise he's demoralized. He has to pass the Constitution check. Ugh. The fishy confectioner can't even smoke marijuana well. All right, let's try it. I mean, he's so wounded, but... All right, the fishy confectioner is smoking some goon grass. He passed his Constitution check, so he is blessed and focused. The focus just gives him a better perception, which doesn't make much of a difference for him. The blessed will give him a slightly better morale roll. All right, so we're running around with a blissed out fishy confectioner. Also resting here, let's see, nobody has enough oh, let's see. We could buy an 8-point skill for the Fugitive Fops Dilettante. Let me see if there's anything I want. We could also actually finally bring Transmute into play. This is a fairly big deck. The character development in Dungeon Degenerates can get pretty expansive with these skills. That's one of the reasons, too, that I have committed myself to getting the suggested skills first before going into this wide open deck here. Because there are some of these that are terrible, there are some that are good. I'm not convinced these are very well tuned, is my point. This Mend Wounds right here, we really want this to deal with the fact that the Fishy Confectioner, who is kind of our punching bag, heals so slowly. So I want to get Mend Wounds, which I can take because I'm a scholar. I could put it on the Dilettante. Actually, there would be no point doing that. Well, here's the thing. I could take this and put it on the Dilettante. But I can't, because of my own house rule about taking the suggested skills first, I can't take it as a regular skill that can be upgraded to Mastery, which is ultimately what I want, where it's more effective, until I buy Transmute. So, on the way to getting Transmute, or on the way to getting Mend Wounds, I need to get Transmute out of the way. Let's do that now. It's going to cost us 8 experience points. We're now zeroed out. So in town, we can make money, not just from performing. Oh, I forgot to do this. Dagnabbit. I forgot to do my stupid puppet show back when we were in Gutfish Ford. I also forgot to use Black Market. Ugh. So we now have Transmute. We can basically throw items into... Yeah, instead of selling them for half price, we can make a magic check, which is a 7, to get full price for them. And if it fails, by the way, we've just discarded the item and gotten no money for it. All right, so mainly I'm taking it because of my little house rule about take the 2 suggested skills first before you get into the deck at large. So next we'll get him her Mend Wounds. Now that we have eaten that aspic, we've smoked some goon grass, let's now draw for that rest action. Oh, by the way, we are bold. Oh, shoot a monkey.